So we're here at the ip.access stand at Small Cells World Summit. Now, Simon, big thing for you guys this year is the presenceCell. I was wondering if you could tell me a wee bit about them, also what makes it stand out from other products in the market.
Yeah, sure. We saw a need for a new sort of small cell in the marketplace, which is the presenceCell. What this device does is it gathers data on what's going on around it. So it isn't optimized to carry traffic, to provide coverage capacity. What it actually does is gather data from the users around and then sends that data back to a central server. So this data can be used in applications like mobile analytics, mobile commerce, or even voucher promotions as well. So it's optimized to do something slightly different to a regular small cell. It isn't a standard cell, it is completely different.
Okay, and how are enterprises and operators responding to this?
Very positively. We've done a lot of research in the area. We polled a bunch of operators globally. What we found is that 20% of carriers are happy to deploy small cells as they are, but actually 70% want to provide additional features or functionality or services in addition to the basic coverage capacity. So generally speaking, from the industry as a whole, there's a real need or a drive or request for more to be provided as part of the technology. From our own experience in dealing with specific carrier groups, we're now engaged quite well with providing this technology to a number of carrier groups for deployment fairly shortly. So great take-up.
Absolutely. What does this mean for ip.access as a business? I mean, this is obviously, like you said, quite a new product. Does this mean you're moving away from the more traditional area, shall we say, of the market?
No, not at all. The traditional areas, 2G, 3G coverage, 4G, LTE coverage, will always be the lifeblood of the company. We established a leadership position in 2G many years ago. We've done the same thing now in 3G, and we will move to do exactly the same thing in LTE or 4G. So coverage capacity as a solution, a small cell solution, will always be the core of the company. This, though, we see as an additional business stream revenue model that we can exploit, that we can work with carriers to provide new functionality to the network. So it's an add-on, it's an adjunct to what we do and do well.
Okay. You mentioned LTE. Obviously, that's going to be one of the big things happening in the European market over the next 12 months as more and more operators come to market with products. What other trends do you see happening over the next year that you can take advantage of?
Yeah, so certainly LTE is becoming very topical, potentially slightly overhyped a little bit. We see a trend very much like the original 3G adoption, where there was a lot of fanfare and hoo-ha and then it died down. And I think the good news there is that in the 3G space, we're in a nice, good, realistic, solid market building phase. We see LTE moving the same way. So we see the fanfare and the hype, but we see it settling down in 6 to 12 months and becoming a far more solid market that goes in conjunction or in parallel with 3G. We don't see one replacing the other. We see them coexisting quite nicely as 2G has. In terms of other areas, clearly we've launched the presenceCell. So we see carriers looking at their asset, their deployed base, if you like, and looking at how that can be leveraged to gain additional revenue streams. So it's about using the small cell flexibly to allow additional revenue to come onto the network that potentially wasn't there before. And so a number of years ago, we always said the nature of these devices being small and economically a little bit more agile to deploy, if you like, means that you can explore and try things you couldn't try before. So sure, we see new radio interface, LTE coming on board, but I think the bigger thing is going to be new verticals or new applications for the technology as we go forward. And I think that's going to be the big change over the next 12 months. Improvements in process to deploy and new ways to exploit the technology, like Presence.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.